Hey everybody. So a few days ago I was watching the house with Daddy, which was great. It was only a baby. I'm at a Mickey show. Yes I am. But I watched Daddy bottom I know you put right on. Seriously, we watched this guy called I said it to everybody. Everyone watched the video called Who Had Best Dress? So, what's the other see?
If every types of people was in a video game, what would their stats be? Let's start out
with the blacks.
HP, low. Turns out not having great access to healthcare means you don't live as long. Buffs, Johnson size. Debuffs,
Buff, Johnson size.
Score, and fat white women. Strength, I'm gonna say pretty high. Speed, high, but not high enough to escape their masters, apparently.
Nah, this is my butterfly.
Resistance, awkwardness. Black people are just born with a certain level of swag, and have maxed out their support levels. IQ, low. And don't blame me, you're the one skipping school. Sure, you come from a single-parent household with a father in prison and teachers who don't want to put in the effort, but not getting good grades is still your fault. Oh, well, I'm smart. Okay, here's a math problem. You have $250. The stock market goes up an average of 7.5% a year. How much money do you have at the end of the year? The answer is nothing, because you spent it on a new pair of Jordans. Endurance, incredible. I mean, they literally built America. Luck, terrible. To go from slavery to segregation to finally getting your own band.
We have a baby color. Hold on, bro. I'll be damned. It really looks like a pure white. Yeah, oh, baby,
Indeed color is pretty unlucky. Stealth depends. In daytime it's terrible, but nighttime it's max. The only thing you'll see is floating Sauron eyes with an occasional puff from a Newport. Special ability, better at all sports. Have you seen the top 20 basketball players? It's black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, random outlier, black eye, black eye, black eye. Next up, Asians. HP, massive. In the United States they have the highest life expectancy. Probably because dying isn't nearly as bad as bringing your family shame. Debuffs, sorry Asians, God did you dirty in the Johnson department. Buffs, luckily to balance.
I don't know. Maybe I want me to like, but like, or like, that's not, I have not been every video is like so.
Out, he made every Asian child size. Strength, in relation to body weight, high. Compared to any black person, low. Speed, average. Unless it's a hot dog eating contest. Then they're an expert in farming. Resistance, proud parents. IQ, Asians are close to maxing out their IQ. I guess having your teacher beat you with a rod, then having your parents beat you with the same rod, is a good way to increase work ethic. Happiness might exist if they had Christmas. You know why Asian kids don't believe in Santa? Because they're the ones making the toy.
And what's say something the problem that I had to though?
I don't even know why ninjas wear masks when you can just back up 10 feet into a crowd and completely disappear. Next up, whites. HP, above average. Buffs, jab applications. Debuffs, a girlfriend with no gag reflex. Strength, physically average. Strength in dominating other countries, max. Speed, like kids on Adderall, high. Resistance, accountability. IQ, average, as we have the smartest and dumbest people out there. I can't even believe Einstein and Vin Diesel are the same species. Happiness, low. You think it'd be high considering we conquer the world, but with every technological advancement, we just invent new ways to get depressed. Like my magic phone keeps buffering Django Unchained. Ugh, now I know what being a slave feels like. Endurance, average. Luck, max. Aside from being a man in a first world country, you can't get much luckier than being white. Special ability, winning. White people are like a DLC character that's just better than the rest of the cast. Don't believe me? Go to any museum and check out our KD ratio. Next up, Japanese. HP, well they have one of the high suicide rates, so very low. Buffs, tentacle porn. Debuffs, Strength, pretty high, probably because they have a small hitbox. Speed, above average, unless it involves their Nezuko body pillow, then it's feverish. Resistance, big titties. IQ, very high. Japan is on the forefront of technology. They got bullet trains, bidets in every hotel, and there's spots that don't judge you. This doesn't normally happen to me.
There. You tried your best. Would you like me to eat your butt now?
Yeah. Happiness, pretty low, unless you get lucky and have 2 used panties dropped from the vending machine. Endurance, 83, so very high. Buffs, Gundam style, on BBQ. Debuffs, driving. Strength, it's hard to tell because all the characters use the same skin. Speed, need for. Resistance, feeling loved. IQ, very high. Koreans tend to excel at math. Probably because their dog can never eat their homework. Happiness, Koreans have maxed out their sadness. In America, we're great at ending each other, but South Korea, they're great at ending themselves. Koreans have the highest self-slaughter rate, which might be because of their parents. Korean parents are born with disappointment in their children, which is a great motivator if you want your kid to become a CEO. So he can jump from a higher window. Endurance, very high. Every other week, their next door neighbor threatens them with nuclear warfare, and yet they still find a way to dance to shit music. Luck, low. This is considered sexy in South Korea. The dude looks like a big toe that wished he became a person, then decided to have a sex change. Special ability can lower their frame rate when dancing. Next up, Mexican. HP, above average. Buffs, manual labor. Debuffs, paying taxes. Strength, high. Cockfighting taught them to go for the jugular. Speed, very high. Can complete any construction project in half the time of a white person. Resistance, birth control. IQ, low. If they were smart, they'd kidnap their racist farm owners, unionize, pool their money together, buy the farm they're originally working on, then hire another poor race to do the work. Happiness, pretty high, which is surprising considering they spend most of the game completing escort missions. Endurance, max. You ever seen a Mexican not hustling? You can call them drug dealers, criminals, bums, and they'd still be like, si senor, so the whole lawn and the hedges? Luck, terrible. You're so close to America, and yet, so far. Special ability, border crossing. Next up, Indian. HP, well, they believe in reincarnation, so I guess that means they maxed out their HP. Once it goes to 0, the game just resets with a new character. Buffs, Krishna. Debuffs, reality. Strength, it's gotta be high if they can drink their water and not instantly get diarrhea. Speed, slow. Too many people are playing Train Simulator, causing it to lag. Resistance, spicy foods. IQ, average. They recently landed a rocket on the moon, and yet half their population can't even spell rocket. Happiness, low. There's no such thing as your own room in India. Just a spot on the ground. Endurance? Well, if we're talking about keeping their wife in check, then it'd be max. Luck? Very low. India is one of the most densely populated places on the planet, and they only have like 7 toilets. Special ability can respawn with a different character. Next up, Native Americans, who are in desperate need for a buff. Their HP is very low. They have the worst...
Look, it's not... I don't really... Farmers and Korean and Asian, Koreans, blacks, the whites, and the Mexicans. I don't know what it's like. Since when they're not this many.
life expectancy out of all the races. Probably because a shaman shaking maracas doesn't help cure cancer. Buffs, peace pipes. Debuffs, spawn camping. Hey, what are you doing on my land? Strength, low. You know what beats a bow and arrow? Any gun. Speed, very low. Which would you rather? 1 horsepower or 640? Resistance, fast travel. IQ, low. If Pocahontas was smart, she would have blown her way to the top. Honeypot the enemy into revealing some of the war plans. But instead... Depends how good my trip is. Endurance, very low. I'm pretty sure there's only like 14 left. Luck, low. That dream catcher isn't preventing nightmares. It's making you live one. And special ability, obviously, tax-free land. Next up, Muslim. HP, depends if they're wearing the vest or not. Buffs, oppression. Debuffs, equality. Strength, very high. Praying 5 times a day to someone who doesn't let you taste sin is next level devotion. Speed, low. That camel isn't beating my horse. Resistance, Christmas spirit. IQ, very high. Convincing half the population they're an NPC is really quite insightful. Happiness, well, if you're a man, high. If you're a woman, then you better hide those ankles. Endurance, max. Fasting while it's 112 degrees outside really builds your tolerance to neglect. Luck, sir, you've been randomly selected for additional screening. And special ability can speed run their way to another dimension. Next up, Irish. HP, low. The liver can of 9. Endurance, high. Special when your child's 6 of 9. Endurance, high. Survive potato famine. Luck, moderate. Their pasta isn't greasy, but the reflection sure is. And special ability, culinary enchantment. Any meal they make adds plus 20 happiness. Next up, British. HP, average. Strengthened by sarcasm, weakened by hugs. Buffs, accent. Debuffs, hearing the word reparations. Strength, high. It takes strong willpower to eat their bland food. Speed, high. Probably because they're always running from their feelings. Resistance, compliments. IQ, very high. Brilliant at figuring out how to exploit others. Happiness, very low. Anytime one of them smiles, someone will say, "Oi, look at this over here." Endurance, high. Decades of rain and bad weather have made them impervious permeable to emotional attacks. Luck, average, lost their empire, but somehow kept the Commonwealth as a consolation prize. And special ability, Imperial Kirby, can absorb abilities from other cultures. Next up, Jewish. HP, low. Turns out anxiety doesn't help your immune system. Buffs, negotiating. Debuffs, side profile picks. Strength, comedy. Turn generational trauma into stand-up gold. Speed, average. Quick when they smell a sale, slow to pick up the check. Resistance, tipping over 10%. IQ, low. 40 years of roaming the desert and not one of you said, I don't think this Moses cat knows where he's going. Happiness, very low. A Jewish mother can make you feel bad about something you didn't even do. Endurance, max. They're borderline unkillable. Poverty, plague, camps, nothing seems to work. Luck, terrible. On top of being history scapegoat, again, side profile, not the greatest. And special ability, passive irritant. Who uses the urinal next to someone when there's clearly other options available? What? You don't pee next to someone unless it's the last option. Okay, it's Monday, Friday, Wednesday, and if those are taken, you slip into Tuesday or Thursday. What does it matter? This isn't a team building activity, okay? And if you must know, I got a little bit of a shy bladder. Just pretend I'm not here. Well, your arm rubbing up against me isn't helping my stream. It's a public restroom. I'm allowed to use whatever urinal I want. You had the end spot. That's prime real estate. But instead, you decided to stand shoulder to shoulder? How about we just go back to ignoring each other? Fine. Do you really have to moan? So after crunching the numbers, I can safely say that people with the best stats are, drumroll, the whites. Obviously, we always win. Sure, other stats might be better, but there's no patch notes for how broken we are. So that's my vid on which race types of people have the best stats. Probably a little different from some of the other content you've seen on YouTube, and that's for two reasons.
Damn. Only some of them, there is wasn't. And this video is way too short. So what I want. And anyway, it should be illegal.
Drones, overweight kids, pattern gag reflex. There are plenty of things that should be illegal, so here are 8 things we need to ban. Number 1, boomers. Boomers inherited DLC perks. Cheap homes, high-paying jobs, women who couldn't talk back. Now the game's on hard mode and they're hoarding all the resources. Well, I'm tired of fighting for scraps in this capitalist sandbox. Unplug your controller, Gramps. It's time you let someone else play. Your save file's corrupted. You don't have much longer anyway. Besides, what's the point of sticking around when your hitbox is doubled, inputs are lagging, and you can't install a simple update? The only reason you're at the top of the leaderboard is because you're camping spawn points. So why don't you do us all a favor and log out? Your perks are wasted on a character that's AFK half the time. Also, I'm a little concerned your joystick has been drifting towards some of the Roblox players. That game is way too young for you, Pops. So how about you hand over your loot before I boot you from server? Number 2, fat children. Is there anything more disgusting than fat children? Both annoying and greasy? Oh, throw that KFC bucket in the dumpster. It's not like anyone's gonna miss them. Not even predators. Diddlers are into fresh meat. Not pork chops? You think they want to throw out their lower back hauling away your extra baggage? No. There are plenty of snacks that don't come in bulk. But perhaps I'm being too hard on kids when it's clearly their parents' fault. You can't give a child a monster and be shocked when he turns into a monster. Sugar isn't a reward. It's a punishment. It sets your kid up for a lifetime of insulin meds and being left on red. No one's swiping right on Captain into a monster. Sugar isn't a reward. You fat fuck! I'm turning off the Wi-Fi! What do you know? It worked. Turns out threats are an effective parenting technique. Number 3, motorcycles. Motorcycles are for people who think airbags and seatbelts are overrated. What I do with my life is my business. Not when you're driving on a public road, Jerry. This ain't Mario Kart. I don't want to be dodging rogue green shells because you hit a banana. And it's not just dangerous, it's reckless. Especially when you strap a child, or worse, a dog to the back. Yeah, he looks cute in his Whittle helmet, but I don't think it's going to stop him from painting new lines in the road. And why do bikes even have turn signals? Giving a motorcycle a blinker is like giving Nick Cannon a condom. They're not going to use it, so what's the point? Oh, and every time I see one swerving in and out of lanes, I just want to give him a little stop it. If you use a blinker, it's not manslaughter. Turns out your traffic cheat code didn't work against my Honda Civic boss. And can we stop saying it was a tragedy at the funeral? Poor decisions lead to poor outcomes, Deb. Maybe if Billy wasn't live streaming wheelies, his body wouldn't be trending. Number 4, women who don't eat egg.
And then if I'm not doing wheelie, his body would have been trending.
95% of the work, then your throat can do the other 5%. Beauty is pain. It's not my fault you look gorgeous on your knees. And listen, I'm a nice guy. I always throw down the pillow first. Your throne awaits, my lady. I'm into submissive girls. Don't king shame me. I don't care if you hate doing it. You think I like going to Thanksgiving sober? No, but I do it because I love you. And nothing says you love me like Number 5, corporate surveillance. If Drake spies through a preteen's window, then that's a crime. But if Google does it, well, that's just business. One gets a restraining order, while the other gets stock options. You see, privacy isn't dead, it's just monetized. Stalking is now on capitalism's default mode, and morals can be toggled off. You over here worried about closing your blinds as Alexa's eavesdropping on your late night breakup. Now every ad is for tissues and how to get away with the ebooks. Turns out your heartbreak isn't just emotional, it's profitable. Every tear you shed becomes another data point in their marketing strategy. And here's the kicker. They're not just selling you products. They're selling you solutions to problems they created. Flooding your feed with thirst traps knowing damn well your ex is only one glance away from going nuclear. They create the chaos, then sell you the exact items you need in order to deal with it. Number 6, drones. In America, you could buy a drone, some duct tape, and a rifle. All from Walmart. It's part of their new slogan, save money, kill better, Walmart. Seriously, how are drones still legal? They're like budget grenades.
You really stop somebody really easy. Although they hold wind, not me though. Trust me, bro. Even now, windy and the set, and after you use your drone, and the set you don't windy again, that they need a crash to a tree, or they crashing somebody.
For hormonal teens. All it takes is one tea bag, and now Billy's calling in a real-life airstrike. Oh, but you're a hobbyist, not a terrorist. Well, try explaining that to Homeland Security when your low battery shuts down the power grid. Even if your gear is working perfectly, have you heard of this thing called wind? Think about divine RNG. One gust and God is smiting that kiddie pool. And drones have made stalking way too easy. Why hide in the bushes when you can just hover over the bus stop? Restraining order? No, that's for Thomas. This is Botanist. Can't convict a robot, besides he's already 200 feet away. Now if you excuse me, Botanist and I have a play date to supervise. Number 7, billboards. What is a billboard? An advertisement scene while driving? Driving! Where the difference between this and this is severe consequences. Might as well be advertising death. Don't look at the road, look at me. Are accident attorneys just a self-fulfilling prophecy? Hey, how did you find us? Through my windshield. What can you not put in a billboard? The law says content can't be overly distracting, but the hell does that mean? Is the point of a billboard to distract you from the road? Don't look at that family of 4. Look at this 20-foot.
Damn.
What? Oh! What kind of billboard that would randomly light up at night with, hey, do you want to offend your family? Well, now you can at offensiveswag.com. Number 8, parents filming content with their kids. Working at 9 years old is illegal, unless your parent was the boss. Labor laws don't exist in this household, so how about you stuff Mango in the box and let's try this again. You're hurting him. No! You're hurting him with your terrible acting! Remember, parents, you can't hit your kids, but you can torture them. They're basically slaves in your content farm.
No.
Time. If you're not producing, then what are you even doing in this family? What? Every time you're on screen,
well, why are you here? What are you doing it for?
Use tank. So how about you start thinking of some ideas of why we should keep you? Parents, it's not hard to manipulate.
Does he even have a job? Does he even have one?
Manipulate your kids. All it takes is humiliation and fear. Tear down their self-esteem and make sure they never feel safe. You don't need to set up cameras everywhere. You just gotta make them think there are cameras everywhere. A jump scare could come at them at any moment. If a 9-year-old's panic attack gets 10 million views, is that child abuse?
What happened to that?
Some art is horror, right? Think about it. Some art is horror. Like, you might think this video is horrifying, and if you do, good! My art couldn't be more throbbing. So for everyone left, let's pull down the colored curtain. Pretty thinking in there! And never forget to record therapy. You think your cousin is hot? What? Everyone! Billy wants to tap fam! If you're lucky, that breakdown might trend. People love watching others get hurt. We used to have gladiator games, and now we have inbreeding claims. Either way, which brings in money. It's not exploitation, it's collaboration with a little bit of gaslighting. So remember, everyone, we're a team, okay? And teammates help each other. Don't think of it like you're working, but if you shake the camera again, I'm gonna shake you, Stephanie. Yes, keep crying. Your tears at Papa's funeral pay for this trip. You're worthless. We want to abort you. I wish that cream pie would go bye-bye. Yes! So those are 8 things that should be illegal. If you want to see 7 more, then click this link right up here. And if you're hungry for more ignorance, then subscribe to my second channel, Offending All Day, where I can spend all day filling your boredom hole with my frothy nonsense. Who needs candy when you have an iPhone dangling from a drone? Come on, just a little closer. Parents, remember, it's no longer your failure. It's now their failure. Either they achieve your dreams or get left at Denny's again. But sometimes you gotta dial back the fear and really crank up the humiliation. Why am I always the panda? Because no one's watching you for your smile, Billy. Now dance before you go extinct. At least Drake's not advertising therapy. I mean, he would if it would get you alone in a room with him. Looks like I win, Ken. Can't fly a drone over an airport. Okay, but what about a middle school? You're gonna tell me one is up to no good and the other isn't? I'm trying to watch a movie and all I hear is Billy struggling to breathe. But location data isn't tied to your name. Bro, if someone is driving to every middle school in the area and back to Beverly Hills, I'm pretty sure we could figure out who it is. You ruined my life! Finally, Jesus, 25 minutes to crank out one tear. What the hell are you looking at, Tommy? You're up next in 3.
Well, it ain't out of hard out of 10, but it ain't out of hard to force out of 10.
3, 2, 1.
I'm not doing this. So yeah, let's try it, Bill. I'm really upset after this. I also put another one about my rivals, so peace.